give you guys a little intake of what I'm eating right now. We're sitting right about 2 weeks out. Everything is very, very basic, sticking to, the essentials. There's not a lot of variety in the food. There's not much, to choose from, but at this point you do what you got to do. And as you can tell probably by my, my face, my facial expressions, I'm running on fumes right now, but this is my entire daily diet. The portions change, as I've told you guys, based on how my body changes. But, my protein sources, I'm using pollock, cod, flounder, all those are wild caught fish. And also I have some bison steaks here. That's became my new thing. Most people know bison as, a free range animal. Like I don't think bison are legally allowed to be grain fed like, cattle, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Carb sources, we have white jasmine rice, cream of rice, and yams. It's not a whole lot to choose from either. And I typically alternate my veggies around. And right now I'm kind of on a little bit of a broccoli kick, so we're rolling with broccoli. And at nighttime, I have been using kimchi, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in the voiceover. But this is the bare minimum, and this is what I have to do at this point. I'm planning to bring the sharpest conditioning possible to 2 weeks in Columbus, and we're gonna do what we got to do. We're gonna make this happen.
What's up, guys? 2 weeks out right now, so this will be a 3-week out recap video. Give you guys a little bit of insight on what we got going on. We got some footage here in the background of, the gym that I typically train at a lot. This is Ford's gym. I train at several different gyms. It kind of depends on what's convenient for me on that day. I pick and choose. I try to think out my exercises, think out my days, what needs to be done, what needs to be hit, what needs to be targeted. And I got about 4 gyms to choose from. So based on what I feel I need to do that day and what I'm comfortable with, I'll make the decision from there. Anyway, so this week has been a stellar week as far as everything, conditioning and training, and just everything's been perfect. The weather has been absolutely terrible. Apparently in Kentucky, that if you get more than 6 inches of snow, we go into a state of emergency and everything shuts down. So kind of BS, but thankfully I have a really cool neighbor, which a lot of you guys out there probably follow and know is Brandon Lilly. He drove me to and from the gym because he has a truck, and I drive a little small car, so doesn't really get around too well in the weather. But either way, I didn't miss a beat because of the snow and the ice. This week, like I said, I've already exceeded my best conditioning to date, probably last week. So this week has been I've seen some details in my body that has never really popped out of there before. I'm very happy with it, but I'm doing pictures, I'm taking pictures of myself and keeping an eye on my conditioning almost every single day now, which is kind of a pain, but it's kind of cool at the same time because I've got control over my diet. Like, I'm kind of an OCD freak on that, I make changes on the fly. Some days, I had scheduled myself a normal day, and I woke up and I was, did a little bit of posing, and I stepped on the scale, and I went by how I felt, and I was like, man, I'm super flat, so I was going to push the carbs up, and I had anticipated on doing between 600 to 700 grams, and as the day progressed, I was kind of not really feeling out at all, so we ended up doing roughly about 1,000 grams of carbs, and I gained a couple of pounds the next day or so. When I got on the scale, I kind of freaked out a little bit, and then I took my pictures, and I'm like, wow, it's one of the first times in my career that I've gained weight but yet looked leaner and harder and just all the way around. So I kind of realized, it gives me a little bit more of a threshold of what my body can handle and what it can and cannot do, the final week. So that way, hopefully I bring a lot fuller package, because it was a little bit of a trial and error. Anyway, so I want to give you guys, you guys get to see at the beginning of this video the food that I'm eating. It's not much. It's not a lot of variety, but I actually enjoy it. A lot of guys don't like eating fish, but I love eating fish. You can tell that I got cod, I got flounder, I have pollock, and I may end up switching to swai or mahi. I like eating fish. It doesn't bother me at all. And I still have red meat in, but I switched over from beef to bison, and that's kind of became a thing for me. I was introduced to bison steak by Matt's wife Jordan, and I've been eating it ever since. It's very healthy for you. It's a very lean meat, and it digests very well. So that's pretty much my food right now. The carbs range from anywhere from 250 to 450 typically, unless it's a very high day. I'm running on fumes. You guys, I'm sure you can look at my face and you can tell how I'm getting around, that I'm more or less running on motivation. You can look at a bodybuilder's face and tell whether he's in shape or not by comparing his off-season face to his contest face. I don't have the very distinct jaw lines and the cheekbones like a lot of the guys do, but if you look at my off-season pictures versus right now, I'm a completely different person. So I feel like I'm on track, and each day counts, and right now it's just a mental game, just staying on things and not wanting, don't cave in, and just make sure that every workout, every set, every meal, everything just goes the way it's supposed to go. And I couldn't be happier thus far with my prep. One thing I want to talk to you guys about, I saw this post come up on the boards. This is something that kind of caught my attention, is Bob Ciccarello had made a post about, competing for that $10 trophy, and he was making fun of all the guys who basically laugh at bodybuilders for competing just for a trophy, and he was talking about how his success has came from that $10 trophy. And most bodybuilders don't compete for a trophy. This is kind of where I got to go against Bob in the beginnings with me with bodybuilding. Is I was a regular kid. I didn't have a lot going on. I was a normal kid in school. I wasn't athletic or anything. I didn't get awards, athletic awards or anything like that. So when I entered my first bodybuilding show, I actually won the show, but I think I was more excited the fact that I did get a trophy, and it was a cool looking trophy. It was from the Northern Kentucky, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. So this trophy basically sat, on my dresser for 2 years, and I saw it, every day. And at that point, it was like I felt like as a teenager, I might have possibly been competing for the wrong reasons. I enjoyed bodybuilding, obviously. I've been doing it for many years. But I think I competed a lot just for, the experience and the trophies rather than, the real reason behind bodybuilding, which now, it's about improvement. Basically, you got to beat your old self, and you got to be the best that you can be. I'm very competitive with it. But, the mentality has changed over the years, and, when I was in college, I just kind of wanted to prove a point. I wanted to see if I was good enough to actually win a regional level show. I entered into the show, and I won the novice and the open overall. And that was not just a trophy to me. That was my goal. I wasn't competing for trophies. I wasn't competing for a collection. I was competing for purpose. And, then I decided, maybe we'll just aim at a top 5 at a junior level show. And I ended up finishing second at junior nationals. So, again, it was about me setting my goal and accomplishing that goal. So we have, from there I decided I wanted to take a stab at the pro card, and my first tryout was a very humbling experience because it was the first time in my whole bodybuilding career that I really didn't place very good. It was a good wake-up call to me to realize that, Justin, you really got to step your game up if this is what you want to do, or maybe you're just not cut out to do this. So I actually got a little down on my luck, and I thought about giving up, I just got back to the gym, and I was like, oh, you're just going to be a meathead in the gym. You're going to be the big guy who walks around Mount Sterling, Kentucky, and that's it, and I got my head straight, after a month or two, and I came back to the 2012 Nationals, and I turned pro like I intended, and I walked out, and I was very pleased with how I looked, and everything panned out the way it was supposed to, and at that point, it was more of, this is a career for you. I felt like this was my place and what I wanted to do in life and where I always wanted to be. Or I was at a place where I thought I never actually could be. So everything kind of took me by storm. And I'm hoping, I've set a goal, to work a certain way at the Arnold, and hopefully, I achieve that goal and we come to Columbus and we really knock this out. I think you guys will be very pleased at the package that I bring. It's going to be probably 10 to 12 pounds of quality muscle, and like I said, the conditioning has already surpassed what I was in Orlando. So as long as I come in dry, and I don't have any long crazy flights. I just live 3.5 hours away. So I can't, hopefully there's no bumps in the road. And if everything goes good, I think I'm really going to be able to bring my best, and I think I'm going to stand up there with the best. So until next week, guys, I'll catch you guys later.